Hi my lovelies, so here's my little idea for today. So as some of you might know, I'm making a journal for memories of someone special for a friend, and I was going to put like lots of titles in there, but then I thought like favourite songs, favourite colours, etc. But then I thought maybe that's a little bit too personalised. So what I have come up with is I'm going to make a little book, and I mean I had thought that perhaps I could use the sticker backing sheets that would just pull off, but I thought that's going to be quite ugly sitting in a journal, so I decided to make a little label book. So first of all, I just shelled out a little old book that I had, and it's got rag paper, so it's going to be nice and strong, and it's got cute little quotes in there as well, so it's a pretty old book. And then I made it so that you can pull the tags out, the labels out. So on the back, that shouldn't inhibit being able to stick them into the journal. That's just the very flat side of the Velcro dot, and then I've just put some double-sided tape on there, and she'll just be able to peel those off and stick it wherever she wants. So if you are a seasoned professional or an expert, you probably can see this far and think, yeah, I'm going to make one of those, and you are more than free to turn off. If you would like to stick around, what we're going to do is I've got all of these labels that I want to put throughout the book, but I want to embellish them. So that's just something a little bit more substantial if they're going to be the only thing that's put on a page. So with all of these, I'm going to add bits and pieces and rivet them, and also show you how to do that part as well, because at the moment the brads are sitting through there and I don't want them to be there, so there's a little bit of an order difference that I'll be doing. And if you have watched my tutorial that I just did a couple of days ago on clusters and layering, this is going to be very similar. The label is going to be our embellishment, so we'll need a ground piece of paper. So I've got a whole lot of scraps and bits and pieces ready. We will need some sort of texture, and it's either going to be in the form of my scrap laces or maybe a bit of cotton or something. And I've got some teeny tiny little brads that I actually got by accident. I wanted the next size up, but they are perfectly helpful. Especially for something like this where I don't want big brads. So yeah, teeny tiny little brads, just from Temu if you want to get them. I find getting hardware stuff is just easier, getting it from there, because they're all in one place. You can pretty much search for anything. Need some double-sided tape, need some glue. Obviously this is very much like Fabri-Tac. I've said before, it's just a cheaper version. You might need an awl if you haven't punched holes, so or pokey tool. You will need ink if you're an inker like me, and that is about it. Hopefully that will be all you need, and just some sturdy base card. This will just make it easier to pull them off and put them back on without them bending. Okay, so if you want to stick around a little bit longer and do some embellishing with me and see the finished result, I'll just get ready and then I'll start working. Okay, so I'll start with one of these. Now these bits here, waste not, want not, they're just the bit that comes out of that die cut. So you could either swap them around and just put them back in there, because that looks kind of cool, or you could use them as their own label, which is what I intend on doing. And I just held one of those up on a coffee dyed piece of paper and snipped around it so I had a little bit of an edge. That just gives you a little bit more room to place it on there when you're sticking it on. Yeah, so I'll start with this one, and I'll probably do a bit of explaining for the first one, and then I'm just going to put the video into silent and I'll just film what I'm doing, because very similar. Base, paper, texture, done, and brads. Okay, so if I want texture, probably want something like this. I'm going to need a bit of a base to put it on, and it doesn't matter if you can see that base either, so any size is fine. I love this paper. This paper is from my antique family albums that I have re-put into albums and taken them off here. So, and I'm sorry if I'm ripping things like this. You know me, I'm gonna ink it. So I do ink quite quickly. So hopefully that's not too bad for me to do while I'm on camera. And this has already got a little bit of colour on it, so I won't add something with colour. I might just grab something with text. See, I have tried to ink as much as I can. Okay, so I think that looks quite cool. Might bring the lace down this way. Then I'm going to stick those together. As long as I've got somewhere that they're stuck, it doesn't really matter. And I don't like how you can see glue through, so I will just put that where I know I'm going to stick this label over. And then just so that I place that right, what I usually do is just put a bit of glue through there and then whip that away. Try to make it as straight as possible, but it is a junk journal. And then I do glue that quite substantially, and I have done that onto nice thick card. While I'm holding that, it's this card here, and I would say that's slightly thicker, maybe about 300 GSM. It's quite a significant card that I use, and I've just glued some patterned paper onto it as well that I've just done on my inkjet printer. There we go. And then the person I'm giving to can write in there whatever they want, add it to a page. So then the next step, which I'll actually, when I'm doing the video, do it bit by bit, is to, sorry, on a little production chain. So I'll make all these pretties, then I'll probably add the brads to all of them, then I'll stick the backing on, etc. But I'll show you this one start to finish. So again, if you wanted to turn off after this, you could. So before I stick the backing on, I'm going to put my brads in. And this is purely aesthetic, obviously, because you've seen me glue it, so it's not like it's going to be going anywhere, the label. I just like the way it looks like these are what has stuck it on. And it's just another little layer of texture as well, a different surface, the metal. I think it just adds something. And then all we have to do is make sure that the cardboard is big enough to cover the brads. That's always helpful. And I usually just make sure I turn them to make my life a little bit easier as well. I'm going to get a good amount of glue on there. As you can see, I've just used scrap cardboard. And then I will get a Velcro dot, and I put the flatter side, not the fluffier side, onto the label. This is just going to hold it in the book. And to be fair, I did actually want that version, that side of the Velcro, to sit there so that when you pull them out, it's barely able to be seen. But I thought the fluffy version might just be a little bit too thick and interfere with the double-sided tape thickness, so I decided I'd do it the other way. I mean, the book's a little bit of nothing anyway, isn't it? It doesn't even have to be a shelled out book like what I've done. It could just be a little coffee dyed paper booklet that you've made. And then I'm just going to put a couple of pieces of double-sided tape. I don't really think it matters where it goes as long as it gets a good majority of both sides. And then I always get the fluffy bit and put it on the Velcro rather than the surface it's going to go on. And I'll show you why. That's just so that when I put it in the little book, I know exactly where I want it. There we go. And I'm going to put some on that page, that page, that page. I've got plenty of room. And this has got a little bit of a spine, and I probably would recommend that because these are going to bulk them out after you've got a few in there. But I thought that would just be a cute little addition. So I'm just going to keep making, and I'm not going to be talking. It's just going to be silent. And then I will see you at the end of the video to show you the final result. That is upside down. There we go. Okay, so here's all the finished ones that I managed to make, and I'm just going to go off camera and do the braiding and the backing and the double-sided tape so that you don't have to stick around while I do that. Okay, so all finished, and I'm just going to probably make a spot in the front of the journal on the cover or back cover that's just going to sit in. So here we go. Just a whole lot of little labels, and I forgot to tell you guys, I've actually asked her for some significant special dates and numbers, which is what those are. And just in case you wondered, that really thin fabric I was using, that's pure silk, and this one is raw silk. Yeah, so there you go, another little project for you to pop in your journal. And I'll just show you. So these little labels just add something to a page, I think, but I mean they can go anywhere, and then you can put another little piece of note paper. You could even add it to a page anywhere you like, and then yeah, so hopefully that's something that you haven't seen before again, because I haven't come across it on my travels, and I do an awful lot of surfing YouTube for junk journal ideas. So yeah, there you go. That little idea just came up by figuring out that I didn't want to put permanent labels in the journal, and how I was going to make them so that they're not permanently in there, and that the person it's for can put them wherever they want. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye.